Hey everybody, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where we give you some really great ideas of foods and things that you'd like to eat with a healthier twist. So today we are making sugar-free coconut macaroons. Now, not macarons, those are different, and of course, I know some of you don't like coconut. That's okay, you can skip this, but I love coconut. It's one of those flavors that just tastes great to me. So, super easy. I've already played with these and the family loves them. So if you love coconut, you will love these too. And there's no sugar. So, okay, we're gonna start with 1/4 cup of almond flour. So that's what the recipe calls for. I'm sure you probably could use coconut flour, but realize the consistencies and the ability to absorb liquids are a little bit different in the two types of flour. So I'm going with the recipe that I found. So I'm gonna do the 1/4 cup. Okay, now I've already preheated my oven to 400 because that's what they're going to cook at. And I've also used my favorite all-time tool, which is parchment paper, and I've lined two small cookie sheets ready to go into the oven there. All right, so to that, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of unsweetened coconut flakes, so shredded coconut flakes. Now, you can get these in all sizes. It's just interesting, and sometimes you can find like little bitty tiny shreds, and sometimes they're flakes, so you really have to kind of look to see what you can find there. All right, and to that, now the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of Swerve. Usually I use a pure stevia, like a liquid stevia or a stevia glycerite, just because I personally prefer that option better. A lot of the different products like Swerve and Pure tend to carry a little bit of erythritol, which I personally don't care too much for. I don't like what my guts feel like when it's done. Kind of promotes some bloating, right? So you have to be really careful with that. Also, please remember that sugar alcohols are toxic to dogs. So if you have pups around the house and you tend to drop things on the floor, probably not your best option if your product contains any erythritol or any of the other sugar substitutes. Okay, so I'm actually going to use Pure because that's what I had on hand at the time. And like I said, I'm out of most of my liquid stevia for the moment until I get some more. Now, it's not a crossover. So if you're using Swerve, it's 2 tablespoons. I am using Pure, which is just 1 tablespoon. That's how that equals out. So I'm gonna mix those together. Now, meanwhile, I have melted down 1 tablespoon of coconut oil over on my stove. And I got really smart. I have little metal tins that I just melted it in on top of my pan. So to that, and you probably can't see it over here because it's kind of out of the line of sight. To that, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now, that's not required, but personally, I like the taste of vanilla, so I am completely okay with that. So I'm gonna add that to my melted coconut oil, and then I'm gonna bring it over and I'm gonna stir it together. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of stir that together. Obviously, they're 2 different consistencies, so the vanilla tends to float on the coconut oil, which is okay. It'll mix pretty decent once I get it in my dry mixture. So I'm gonna add that to the bowl. I did do a little pre-prep here just for time. So some of the things that I've just done a little bit ahead, just so that we're prepared. Okay, so I'm gonna mix that together. By the way, I'm going to show you my addition to it as well, just because, make it like Melissa likes to have it. Okay, so to that, now, so meanwhile, before this, I chilled a metal bowl in my freezer. Now, I did it overnight, but when I made these last night, I just chilled it in there for about an hour till it was cold. And I took 3 egg whites and I beat them together. Now, you can't use pasteurized egg whites. I know some of you are going, really, you just figured that out? No, I actually figured it out a long time ago when I tried to use liquid egg whites for making macarons. It does not work. You have to actually separate the yolk from the egg. But by using a chilled bowl, it allows it to whip up faster. And so I whipped it to a peak stiff consistency, and I'm gonna fold that into my mix here. Now, of course, your goal is not to deflate it. You're actually trying to give it a little bit of volume. So you don't want to mix it too hard once you put it into your mixture of the good stuff. Okay, so you can see how thick that's pretty thick. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of incorporate that a little bit. And don't worry, I have pictures of what they'll look like. I have some made. Okay, so get that together. Make sure it's fully incorporated. Now, this is the full batch. What I will be giving you is the full recipe. I didn't actually make a half batch just because dividing egg whites into half, 3 egg whites, that doesn't work very well. So this is 3 egg whites, beaten to that stiff consistency. Okay, perfect, look at that. All right, so I'm gonna grab my tins or my pans that are ready to go. I love parchment paper just because it's so much less cleanup when you're done. And that's something I truly appreciate when you have a household as big as mine and the sink is usually pretty full of dishes at all times. All right, so I'm actually gonna use a small scooper just to make sure that it's consistent in size. This makes about 10. So that's kind of your goal, is to see if you can get 10 of these on your pans, okay? And then I'm gonna cook them for 8 minutes in my oven, or just till the tops are golden brown, right? Now they do come out a little bit soft and chewy, so I personally threw mine in the freezer so that it could, you know, harden just a little bit, because I prefer it to have a little more crunch like a real macaron does, but I also added a Melissa twist because I love chocolate. So I actually heated, and I can't even tell if my current one's heating up very well, but I heated up some of the Lily's chocolate chips. They are sugar-free, and not only are they sugar-free, but they use Stevia instead of Splenda or some of those other weird tasting things. I know there's another brand that Walmart carries, and I just don't care for them. I mean, they're okay if I absolutely need them, but I don't care for them. I prefer these. Plus, these come in actually both semi-sweet. I think they even have a milk chocolate, but semi-sweet. These are dark chocolate because that's what I prefer at this point. But all I did was heat some of those in a double boiler, added just a little bit of coconut oil, and then I painted the bottom with my rubber spatula. Super easy, and then I get a chocolate-covered macaroon. Yeah, not a bad option, right? So try it, see if that's something that you really enjoy. These are one of them that really, I really like. I'm gonna have to hide them for myself so I don't eat them all at the same time. But I will be posting the recipe down below, and feel free to hop on YouTube and see the rest of the videos that I've been doing for probably the last 3 years. Everything I've ever done has been uploaded there. If you need some quality, healthy recipes, you can go there and find all kinds of great stuff. Everything from meals to desserts to sides. So if you have a great recipe that you would like to share, let's do it. Let's give this information for free. We want to help other people be healthy. That's part of I just love that part of what I do. So have an incredible weekend, you guys. Please stay healthy, even amidst the craziness. I love and appreciate you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.